Hello and welcome once again to Leicester's The Place. You may have spotted already that I've got a new cohort here in this podcast this time round. My usual partner in crime, Jerry Taggart, has gone off to Turkey to sort his teeth out. So a very unable replacement. We wanted to get someone who would bring a bit of spark and personality to proceedings. Couldn't find them. We ended up with Mr. Dan Bates here to assist. Thankfully, we have got some brightness on the show. A very bright and popular figure in Leicester City's history, Sol Bamba, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you on board, Sol.
Thank you for having me. I'm pleased to be here.
Good. I'm pleased you're here. Not so pleased with Dan, but we'll get on with it, yeah?
Really scraping the barrel getting me in. Great to have you along. So I know we've obviously done stuff with you on Zoom before, haven't we, on our match day shows, but nice to meet you in person and to have you here. And you've obviously had a little bit of a look around at the training ground here. It's some place, isn't it?
Oh, this is stunning. Honestly, I couldn't believe it when I stepped in. Wonderful condition to work.
This first time, so?
First time for me, yeah, lovely. Honestly, it's absolutely stunning.
Little different to Beaver Drive.
Yeah. I mean, I had great memory there. It was a good place to train, but this is wonderful. I mean, you know, when you're a player and you step in and come in every day to work on those environments, you can only be happy and give your best to perform.
You can take them on a tour later, Dan, maybe, because I've got to shoot off after a while. So. I'm sure you're a busy man. I'm sure you've got plenty going on so yourself. But yeah, as you say, it's unbelievable setting here, isn't it? But times change, don't they?
Yeah.
Times change from certainly from my day, and even your day, isn't it? From humble beginnings and then in a different world. But anyway, enough about the training ground here. We're here to talk about you. And in particular, your time here at Leicester City.
Yeah.
But we've got plenty else to talk about as well. You've had a varied time, haven't you? One way or another. Interesting career. I look forward to chatting about it with you. But yes, I say like your time at Leicester. I looked at, we've got a sheet here and we were given statistics, etc. And I'm surprised that the amount of games that you didn't play, really, in a way, because like your name is what's the phrase? Basically, help me out here. You know,
Even I don't know where he's going with
no,
it.
but you know, Leicester City supporters have got a lot of affection for you.
Cult hero?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's a bit much, no?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But in a relatively short space of time, really, which is unusual.
Yeah,
it's unusual. But coming to the club, how did you come to the club in the first place, anyway?
It's Sven Warnock brought me here. He was my national team, Ivory Coast national team manager. And I remember actually in the World Cup.
Oh, so you'd already played under Sven.
Under Sven,
so that helps, right?
Team,
Got you.
And we done the World Cup 2010 together. And before the World Cup, we were doing like a mini pre-season, and we played a couple of friendly games in that. And I was playing because I played African Cup of Nations 2008. So I was starting my international career. And Sven came in, played me all the friendly games, and I've done the mini pre-season. It was great. And we got to the World Cup 2010, and he dropped me a day before the first game. Yeah, we were playing Portugal.
Sven dropped you?
Yeah. And we played the World Cup. I came on for the last game only. And when we left, he said to me, he made a mistake, he should have dropped me. And he's going to sign for a club. He knew he was signing for Leicester, and he said he's going to sign for a club, and he's going to bring me. And I was like, oh, it's just been nice. He just dropped me on the World Cup. He just tried to be nice.
Yeah, that's a good way of making amends.
Exactly, yeah. And the minute he signed, he called me and he said, I told you I'm going to sign you because your attitude was good. You didn't drop your head, you trained well, and you always had a smile on your face. And he brought me here, and that was the best decision I ever made.
You'd say, look, listen, Sven, you didn't have to drop me at the World Cup to find that out.
Exactly, yeah.
Just asked me.
Yeah, I never went that far.
It's strange how it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the World Cup. Was it quarterfinals? Was it?
No, that was the group stages. Yeah, so before we even started the competition, I thought I'm going to play. And I remember Drogba came to my room and he said, like, you know, I'm the captain. I'm going to go speak to him because we built the team like for the last 2 years, and you can't just change the team, you know, the day before. And I was like, no, listen, I'm disappointed, but you know, it's the manager's decision. there's nothing we can do. And I'm glad I didn't, because I think if I went to see him, maybe that would have changed. Like, he wouldn't probably brought me to Leicester. So, a bit disappointed of the World Cup, but very, very happy he brought me to this football club.
And obviously you arrived at Leicester under Sven, and I mean, you made a pretty instant impact, didn't you, in that first game?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of luck as well, wasn't it? Fortunate to score my first touch, and obviously that gave me the confidence to play the game and do well. But I think, the way the whole club took me on, the fans, I think it was I never had that before in any other football club. So, this club is special for me and my family.
So many people might say that, don't they, about Leicester?
Yeah, they do, to be fair. I mean, even, again, in my era and before really, talk about being a sort of a family club, which is the case up to a point, but also they're just, I don't know, you just feel part of a group, at least. It's not clinicals.
Yeah.
You do get an affiliation with the club pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's exactly that, Matt. I think, like you said, there's the whole club. I think the supporter, obviously, is a massive part of it, but the club, the ways they look after you, whatever you need, the fans as well, help you out in a good and bad moment. I mean, as we're going to talk about it, I've been everywhere in Europe and different clubs, but I never had anything like it, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very, very special club.
Yeah, because I suppose supporters sometimes think, they say about every club and all that.
Yeah.
You think, why can Leicester be so different? What is different about it? But it's hard to put your finger on it, really. But it just, certainly from the community, from the supporters, you feel that affection, don't you? Or, if you put the work in or whatever, or impressive performances, they take you to your heart.
Exactly, man. I think it's exactly that. Like you said, if you work hard and you give 100%, they will always be behind you. And I always said, like, the whole club, because even my family felt, this football club looked after them the most, and that's very important for any players. If you know your family is settled and looked after, you're going to perform. So
it does. Other clubs, there's a shortfall really from them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, it doesn't say much good about them. It's a bit clinical, maybe.
Yeah.
Ultra professional. In the day, it's an industry, but I think it's true with Leicester, like you say, and you're one of quite a few who regret their time wasn't longer.
Oh, yeah.
Leicester, didn't you?
Yeah, but that was my own fault, if I'm honest. Sven signed me in. Obviously, it didn't last long for whatever reason, and Nigel Pearson came in, and I got on well with him. We're still talking. Great man. But in my head, I wasn't right. I came for Sven, if you like. So I was like, I don't think I should stay if he's not here, and I just went. But that was the biggest mistake I made.
Yeah,
definitely.
You do look back with regret.
Oh yeah, yeah. And even my family, my mum, my brother and sister always said, my daughter used to say the club with the fox, because she used to look at the mascot, and they always said you shouldn't leave this club. And if I have to be honest, I've got regret.
He only said that after 2016 and a half, when Leicester won the Premier League.
No.
Oh yeah, I regret that.
No, I told no. You know what? Funny enough, people said that. Oh, you said that because they won the league and you went there. I said no, it's nothing to do with it. I think is. I'm glad it was before that. In fact, I'm glad I left, because if I was there, they probably wouldn't win the league.
No one saw that coming.
Oh man, that was unbelievable.
Yeah,
absolutely unbelievable, and well deserved as well, to be fair. And because of that, this club going to be in history forever.
Yeah. So in your time at Leicester, like looking back at the team, some of the players that you played with, who did you really connect with out of your teammates?
I would say Bruno. I didn't play with him long, but he's in Switzerland now. When he's a manager there,
I believe so.
Not long ago, and at the time as well, he was speaking French. My English was alright, but it wasn't great, so he was helping me out.
I was going to say your English is like top notch.
Oh, I've been here. I won't say top notch, but I've been
a few years in Scotland before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was there 4 years, so I learned there.
You didn't speak very good English before you came?
Oh, not at all. When I moved to Scotland in 2006, and I couldn't speak any word.
Tough schooling going to Scotland.
Tell me about it. Yeah, very cold. I didn't understand a word of what they were saying. But I was there for a job. Enjoy my time there.
Yeah, we'll come back to that in a bit.
Yeah,
How you go from PSG to
yeah. Yeah, but to be fair, we had a very good group and very good dressing room. Everyone was very good with each other. Richie Willens, I was very close with him as well because he used to take the mick out of me.
yeah.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
yeah, lovely lads. But we were all very, very close, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that was sort of one of the features of Nigel's management style, wasn't
Yeah.
it? You know, looking to the personality, the character of the individuals and ultimately the group.
Yeah, and that's massive, man. As you know, I think, me going to the coaching journey now, I think if you're a top player or a good player and you don't have a good character, I'd take a good character over a top player, 100%.
Yeah.
Because one bad egg can put the dressing room in trouble, so you don't want that. And Nigel Pearson's a master of that. It's very, very good to
Yeah,
put
that's big
good
for him, isn't
character
it?
first, yeah.
Yeah. So, what about say your time at Leicester? Plenty of good, high spots or whatever. Any particular standout?
Oh, it have to be the Man City game.
Yeah,
It have to be because for a debut to score a goal as well. And
that was in the cup. Yeah,
that was in the cup,
Yeah.
yeah. And funny enough, when I got to Leicester, I started scoring goals. A lot of goals. I remember against Preston, I think I scored 2.
Too, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Before that, I didn't score many. I think, in fact, I scored maybe 1 or 2. But it have to be the Man City game because I couldn't ask for a better debut. But my whole time at Leicester was very good because, it was my first time to play in English football. Championship is tough. I used to love it. I was young. I could play every 2 days. It was Tuesday, Saturday. I had no problem. Really, really enjoyed it. The fan made it. Very, very good atmosphere, home and away. So it's difficult to pick one. But if I have to pick one, it have to be the Man City game.
yeah.
I mean, to score with your first touch for your new club is some way to endear yourself to the supporters.
Yeah, that's why I think, like I said, I couldn't ask for a better debut. So. It was special, and my whole family, excuse me, was on the ground as well. So it was very special.
You talked about obviously never really scoring, came to Leicester, suddenly scored because those 2 goals in one game that came fairly early as well, didn't it? I think in that January as well. So it felt at the time like every time Leicester had a corner, you were the danger, and it's like, oh well, Sol Bamba's there. There's potentially going to be a goal here, and it's weird that you said that you never had that actually before in your career.
Yeah, I think we are probably going to put the blame on the one who taking the corners because he wasn't doing it well. But he was very good taker, and if you have a good movement, you can score goals. And I was fortunate to score a couple. And after you score one, you always feel like you're on the run and you can score more. So yeah, that season in particular, I felt like I could score a lot of goals. Yeah, it was good.
You have a good partnership with Jack Hobbs.
Yeah.
Like that because I always thought you two pretty impressive as centre halves, and really, I was expecting you, probably both of you, to go and play higher up together, even. or
That would have been lovely.
Down the line for longer. But did you gel well with Jack?
Yeah, he's a very good lad. He could read the game very well, passed the ball very well. I think exactly like you said, Matt, we had a very good understanding, and I think at time you.
Did he struggle a bit with injury, Jack?
He did. He did. Yeah, he had a few injury, and I think that's one of Nigel, the gaffer at the time, wasn't so sure about him playing like too many games because of injury. He was injury prone, but our partnership was very, very, very good. We understand each other very well.
Did Sven give you a license to express yourself as a centre half, which you certainly did?
Yeah, that's the right word. Yeah, I think especially the Leicester fan always remind me that and said, I scared them when I had the ball or stuff. But I have to put one thing clear now. Sven always said to me, he wanted me to play those kind of passes and take risk.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. It wasn't because I wanted to dribble or take risk. It was what the manager asked me to do. For example, I work with Neil Warnock. He asked me to head and kick it. So that's what I was doing.
Yeah. That's partly why I asked.
Yeah, exactly. But listen, I enjoy it playing, taking a bit of risk at time. But at the end of the day, I'm here to do what the manager wanted me to do. So that was all. I wasn't taking a make or anything like that. You know, so I just wanted to make that clear.
No, you took it to the T. Like you took his requests very seriously.
Yeah, no, where you were, Matt, what you're absolutely right, Matt, is like obviously you need to recognize when you can play those passes or not.
Yeah.
And that's what Sven used to say to me. He said, listen, if you missed it, I take it. I will say it's me asking you to play like that. But at the same time, you need to recognize when you can. And that's very important.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's like part of the decision making is part of
Exactly.
being a player, isn't it? But like, just quickly then, sorry, Peter, I know you want to ask something, but so on that subject, modern day football, obviously you're going into coaching.
Yeah.
Looking at it, how do you view it now? Because you said you can tailor your game, you know, depending on what the manager wants. Football likes to play risky. Like these days, footballers like to play, you know, risky football to the extreme at times.
Yeah.
What's your view on that?
I think first and foremost for us as a defender, I'm sure you will agree with me, Matt, is if you're a defender, you need to defend first.
Yeah.
And I think now they want the centre half to be good on the ball, and they can't really defend, if I can say it like that. So for me, I will have a proper defender. If you can pass the ball, is a plus.
Yeah.
But for me, the defender and the goalkeeper have to keep the ball away from the back of the net.
I think people are looking for the perfect scenario, but all the way down the leagues. You know, there's not that many of them around who can defend and play.
Exactly, but I think it depends on your style of play, how you want to play, and obviously what type of player you're going to sign. But for me personally, I think is at the end of the day is what you do in both boxes. So if you defend well and you score goals, you're going to be successful. And the bit in between, everyone does the same thing really. Everyone want to pass the ball between the line and everything. But I think the way I look at it when I look at you time when you were playing, and I look at mine, and now, you know, the new modern football, if you like, is day and night. And I think
even you find it a bit, a little bit alien.
Oh yeah. Even, you know, we were saying early on, I was taking risks, but now it's even more, you know. But I think me going to coaching and management, I think you just have to organize when, exactly like you said, Matt, is decision making. The difference between top players and an average player, if you like, is decision making. So
yeah, because it seems to me like some teams just persevere, like regardless of what the opposition are doing to them. And it's almost like a matter of pride. And
exactly,
hang on, need to find some balance. But anyway, that's for future discussion.
Yeah, and it's a similar question, really, I guess. But it was more, how did you see yourself as a player when you look back at your playing career? Were you, do you think, a ball-playing defender? Were you a head-it-and-kick-it defender? Or did you just, as you say, tailor your game to whatever the manager wanted then?
I would definitely say that I was a proper defender, if I can use it like that, because I love to defend. I enjoy winning every tackle, every headers. If I lose one at training or game, I'll be upset, you know. The fact I can sort of pass the ball, if you like, that is because growing up in France and the academy I was, they force you, if you like, to play it that way. But first and foremost, I'm a defender, you know, so I'm equally proud to head the ball and kick it and pass it, you know. So I think, but like we said, it's important to do what the manager wants you to do, if you can, you know. So if a manager wants me to pass it, even if I'm not very good at it, I will try. And if I have to head and kick it, that's even better for me.
So you talk about how Sven gave you license, because I suppose a lot of Leicester supporters will think it's a shame you weren't at the club longer than you were. You talked about your regret.
Yeah.
So, and you talked about your respect and your relationship with Nigel Pearson, still to this day. But was there a change sort of in attitude or what the manager wanted you to do when Nigel came in?
Yeah, I think without being disrespectful to Nigel, he will say that himself. He wanted to change the way Sven wanted to play. Yeah. And when he first came in, he said to me straight, listen, you're an important player for the club. I think at the time I just signed a new contract. He said, you know, the fan like you, I've got no problem with you. If you train well and you play well, you're going to play. I'm going to bring some of my own player. Yeah. to suit the way I want to play. But if you got the right character and attitude, you would play. So that was our first meeting. So I was very happy with this. But obviously the fact he wanted to change one or two things. But I have to say, it was me. I wasn't right at the time. The minute Sven left, for some reason I wanted to go. So, you know, the gaffer came in, he done well. Brought very few good signing. Wes Morgan, I think, came at that time.
That turned out all right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, it was, like I said, it was my decision, and it wasn't a good one, really.
Yeah, well, it's at the time, you know, it was possibly, I don't know, Nigel's way. I wouldn't say it wouldn't suit you necessarily, but at that time you were looking for something.
100%. Yeah,
else,
and and that's what every player would say. They love honesty, and it's no better person than Nigel, to be honest with you. You know, so he made it clear with me. I had a chance to stay and prove I can play on his team. Obviously, I made another decision, but I love the man. He's a great man.
Yeah. There were Premier League clubs that were interested in that time. I think Blackburn were really heavily linked, weren't they? Was that something that, and at that time you chose to stay at Leicester, you signed that new deal. Obviously you felt part of the family here, and a lot of people talk about it being a family club.
Yeah, I think at the time I was just very happy, you know, with the whole environment, and I honestly believe we could have gone to the Premier League with Leicester, you know. No disrespectful to Blackburn, but, you know, at the time I wasn't sure if, you know, they would have not done the yo-yo between Championship and Premier League. So I just wanted to stay at the club. I signed a new deal. I enjoyed it. So I had no intention to leave at all. That's why I stayed.
Yeah, it's a shame, obviously, to hear you say that you are full of regret for leaving. And I guess, as we've already touched upon and have done with all the ex-players, really, that we talk to, the majority of them always say, however their time at Leicester ended, they wish it hadn't at that time. Maybe for Matt, it should have been a few years earlier than it was. But
well, I regret my time ending. It was the end of my career. That's why.
But again, it sums up the club that Leicester is.
Exactly, and it's getting better and better. I mean, we were talking about what you guys got here. It's wonderful. The fans around the club, the owners, the way you look after the club. You know, I think for any business or any successful, you have to have the whole environment coming together. You know, I can see you guys off air talking to each other, laughing to each other, and that's important, you know. And Leicester's got that from top to bottom, and when you got that, you got a better chance to be successful.
And obviously, a lot of that culture comes from the owners, and you came at a time when that was all changed, really, at Leicester, wasn't it? When King Power had come in. Had you obviously spoken to players that were there under previous regimes, and then King Power came in? I'd just be intrigued to know what your thoughts on that are.
Yeah, I mean, we went to, it wasn't deep conversation about it, but obviously the people were there before, they knew the previous regime, so they didn't really know how things going to go. But when the owner came in, they made it very clear the visions they had and where they want to go. We had a couple meetings with them. They were very good, and reassured us as well. So, you know, it was never in doubt, you know, with the owners. And obviously, with all the success you guys had, you know, you can clearly see they see the vision, and they managed to do it.
Yeah, just the last bit on Leicester. I mean, you said, you mentioned numerous times, you know, you regretted going at that time, but also that brought along, you know, an interesting and varied career, though, didn't it? Wherever you went, you know, so ifs and buts and maybes, you know, you never know. Anyone can say that, really.
Yeah.
Things went interestingly. On the whole, they went well for you, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think, you know, I don't really like to talk about regret, but it is a regret. But overall, I think
you move on, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I left Leicester, I went to Turkey, I had a great time there, you know, seeing different culture.
You see Jerry over there? In his teeth, don't you?
That was a long time ago, you know. So, yeah, it was very good in Turkey. You know, the family enjoyed it as well. We live in Istanbul, it was great. I learned the language, the kids was learning the language as well. After that, I moved to Italy, similar thing. Different football, different culture.
Yeah.
I learned the language as well. The kids
Did
done
you?
the same thing. Yeah.
Well done.
And I came back here, so...
You can tell us about that in a little bit, yeah? In a bit more detail.
Yeah.
I was going to rewind a little bit without going too chronologically, but to your upbringing and where it all started for you in Paris, yeah?
Yeah, big Paris Saint-Germain fan, obviously, born in Paris, just playing in my local club, following my big brothers. And
How many brothers you got?
I've got 3.
Have you?
Yeah. 2 older and 1 younger.
All big lads like you?
Oh, they're huge, yeah. Bigger than me, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, but they always looked after me.
Don't mess with the Bambas.
Well, with them, I'm all right. Yeah, it was good upbringing. Mum wanted us to all do a sport so we don't stay at home and walking around the streets. So we all pick a sport, and ended up being okay.
It was a good decision.
Yeah.
You could have been a doctor, or your mum wanted you to be a doctor.
I could never be a doctor, let me tell you this. But she wanted me to be one.
Right.
You know, she always said, I've got good heart and I need to help people. So that's what she wanted me to do. But it was no chance. I could never be a doctor. No way.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Give it a go. But things worked out all right, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So you went PSG. So as a young boy, were you? Did you stay at the academy when you were training there?
That was exactly it, Matt. I had a chance to go to Monaco, and that was my choice, actually. Yeah, Matt, exactly.
I might have had a little look there.
That's what we done. Me and my dad went to Monaco for the weekend, so we visited the academy. They looked after us, built the best hotel and all that. We came back, my dad said, we're definitely going to Monaco.
Yeah.
And my mum was like, no, because from Monday to Friday, I was in academy. And on the Friday, you come back home for the weekend and you start again on Monday. But if I was in Monaco, I wouldn't have the chance to go back home. So my mum said, like, listen, if you want to play football,
Missed you.
Yeah, she would miss me too much. So she said, you have to go to Paris. Monaco is too far. My dad wasn't happy. But that's how I ended up signing for Paris Saint-Germain. But the whole week I was at the academy, I had 1 day off on a Saturday, come back to see the family. And on a Sunday morning, you go back in, you play the game on Sunday afternoon, and you start again at the academy. So I've done that from 11 to 15.
Right.
And at 15, you go to...
So they give you a day off before the game?
Yeah.
It's a bit back to front, isn't it?
Yeah, it's back to front. But when we're young,
Yeah, you're young.
You don't worry about going out or anything like that. So it was purely just to go and see the family.
Yeah.
And on the Sunday morning, we go and meet and play the game and go back again.
Who was the big names at PSG at that stage?
Well, we used...
No, Ginolas before that.
Oh, that was way before. I was watching...
I'm forgetting how old I am.
I was actually going to Le Parc des Princes to watch them play. And that's what gave me the reason why I wanted to play football. I remember watching Ginola and George Weah was my idol.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I played against him.
Did you?
Yeah, Chelsea.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Marked him out the game, mate.
Did you? Oh, I love them, Matt. Honestly, I absolutely love them. And that's why when I started playing, I wanted to be a striker like him, but I wasn't good enough, and that's how I fell in love with football.
Was Ronaldinho, was he there around that time?
Yeah, when I started professional at 16, he was there. Ronaldinho.
The players they've had, don't you?
Yeah, Ronaldinho. Pochettino was there too. He looked after me, by the way, because he was a centre half, and I was young, training with the first team, and he used to take me for lunch and dinner and show me the video and how I should play and how I should defend and all this. He was very, very good. We're still in touch now. Yeah, he's a very good guy.
You could see even then he was probably going to go on and become a manager.
Management, yeah, because he came from Spain. He was about 34, 35. So he finished his career with us, I think, for 2 years. So you could see he would go into management. Yeah, he was very good, very, very good.
Any of your brothers play?
Yeah, one of my older brothers played. Same thing, he was meant to go to the academy at Lens, and unfortunately he had a very, very bad knee injury. And back then the surgery wasn't as good as now, so he never really recovered from it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately he didn't play. But
did they take a big interest in your career then?
Yeah, he was. He's the one who's followed me the most, coming to every game. He actually came to every clubs I played for to watch games and all that.
Fair play to him, because that must be in the back of his mind.
Exactly, Matt. Yeah, love him to bits. He's very, very good. And unfortunately, he didn't manage to to do like me, and I know he loved the game. But he followed me and gave me good advice. And
Yeah, well done to him.
Yeah, very good.
But so, when we touched on it earlier, PSG, that you're coming up, you're developing, you're learning the ropes, and you're having a look around, going, which club am I going to join in Europe? Oh, me and Ronaldinho are going to have a bit of a career together. And you ended up in Dunfermline.
Yeah.
He must be the only player that's ever gone from PSG to Dunfermline, by the way.
No, but to be
How did
fair,
that
but
come around?
that's an easy decision because
Is it mistaken identity?
no, not at all, not at all. Because from 16 to 21 when I left.
Have you done something illegal in Paris?
Not at all, no.
Not everyone's like you, Matt.
It looked that way, but I promise I didn't. I just wanted to play first team football, man. That's all it was. Because from 16 to 21 at Paris, I think I played 2 games, and the rest was with the reserves. So they offered me a new contract, but I said to them I want to play. They couldn't guarantee me that.
They offered you a contract?
Yeah, because I was at the end of my contract, and they offered me a new one, and I said I signed it.
What age were you there?
I was 21.
Right.
Yeah, just turning 21, and I wanted to go on loan.
Yeah, because a lot of people would stick at. I'm a PSG.
That's exactly it, and that's why I always say to the youngsters now, because the youngster play for big club, the Man City, United, and that. And if you're on the first team and you train but you don't play, I don't think it's good. You should go on loan, League One.
Even Leicester, they're in the 20s.
Yeah, even that. Exactly.
Stay there for years.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a mistake. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to play first team football. And the fact that I refused to sign the new deal for Paris, when the other club, French club, was calling, they were like, "But how come you guys are not signing him?" And let's put it this way: they didn't give me good reference.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult to stay in the funds. So that's how I ended up in Scotland.
Right.
Yeah. And it was first in football.
Are there not other options?
Well,
or you went to the first one?
I need to ask my agent then, because at the time, that's why he bought me. And I always wanted to play, come abroad and come in England. And he said that could be a good pathway. So, I went
fair
there
play
for
to you.
years,
Well, it turned out that it was, actually.
Yeah. I think I spent too long there because I've done 4 seasons at the end, but it was a good way to come down to the UK.
Yeah, it's surprising that you were there that long.
Yeah, even like a couple of the players or the media was saying this, but I think at the time I was a bit similar when I ended up in Leicester. I was taking too many risks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not comparing myself to you, but similarities in my career, I was like that. Believe it or not, I don't know whether you ever saw me play or whatever, but some people saw me playing, they think, I'm just a head it and kick it centre half. But when I was younger, I used to think I could play.
Exactly.
And that was my problem. I'd do right for 90% of the game, and then one mistake, bang, goal.
Exactly, Matt. Yeah.
His fault again.
Exactly. That's exactly what I
slowly learned more and more.
Yeah.
The more reliable I became.
That's right. Yeah.
The higher up I ended up playing.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was exactly what they were saying about me in Scotland, because a few times I think Rangers been asking, but play against them, do well for 94 minutes, and lose my man a corner.
Yeah.
And they said, that's concentration. You can't come to us. It was exactly what you said, Matt.
Try a fancy little turn and
exactly.
And stuff. And
yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
I always used to say, like you're saying, you're picking up your play and a little lapse of concentration and say, oh, they were lucky. And then then higher up, they kept getting luckier.
Yeah. So
right, hang on,
it must be.
Me.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I can see how that would work, because I played lower leagues for numerous years, and then yourself at Dunfermline, with your ability, I'm surprised you were there for that long.
Yeah, but I mean, no regret on that hand, but excuse me, I think it was a learning curve, and it was important for me, because exactly like you said, man, the more I was going up, I was learning along the way, and I knew I needed to cut a few mistakes I was making if I wanted to go to the top.
You can do all that in training, can't you?
Yeah, exactly that. I enjoy our training, let me tell you. Yeah.
Have a bit of fun. So Dunfermline on to Hibernian.
Yeah, that was good progression in my opinion, because we played, it's a bigger club without being disrespectful to Dunfermline. We played Europe as well. You know, so in my opinion, it was a good progression. At a year and a half, I think, there, because I came in Leicester in January.
Right,
Yeah, very good as well. Enjoy it. I was playing midfield though there, so I could take a bit more risk. I enjoyed that.
Oh, you played midfield by that
Yeah, I
time,
was playing midfield there. Yeah, and you know, I had a great time there. It was a good learning curve, and I came down here.
Got to the Scottish Cup final as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we lost in the final against Celtic. That was good. Playing Hampton Park, I think. Yeah, the very, very good time in Scotland. And I think if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to perform here. I think it was important.
It was a good pathway, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very important.
How did the Leicester move come about then? Do you know?
Well,
I know you're already playing for Ivory Coast.
yeah,
Aren't you?
then I was already
Sorry, you
in
got
the
the link with
national
Sven,
team.
haven't
I had the link with Sven, but I think I had a chance to come in England before that at Middlesbrough. But Iberian didn't agree the fee, so I messed that out. And obviously with Sven, I ended up coming here.
Yeah, yeah, that was the obvious link. Like I say, it worked out well one way or another. But so then we've spoken about Leicester, obviously, and then off to Turkey.
Yeah.
Off to Turkey. Off at another tangent.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, but I bet that was interesting out there, wasn't it? Because they are lively, aren't
Oh, man, this is crazy. And I remember I used to argue with the people at the club because you could not go out. It's absolutely
Really?
crazy. Oh, I remember once being in the park with my daughters, and in 5 minutes you had a crowd of people coming in. It's always nice, but it's no life.
Worse in that case than it is in England. Similar. Like, obviously, you get recognised, people
Yeah,
stop you, but
but
it's in there. It's just
Exactly, and that's why I always said England is the best country to play football because they respect you. The leagues are good. The fan let you be. You know, Turkey, you can't not move. And you know, I used to argue and said, you know, I'm not a rock star. I'm just a player. I just want to enjoy with my family and all. It was impossible. Anywhere you go as well, and that was the downfall. But the league was good competition. We played Champions League, Europa League, and the culture as well was good. I enjoyed that.
Who's manager out there?
I had the national team manager from Turkey, Şenol Güneş.
Right.
He literally just left Beşiktaş now. He just got a sack like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
He was good. The only problem is he didn't speak any English. And I remember once I had an argument with him, and the translator was there, and I said to the translator, "Tell him I'm upset." And he couldn't. Well, he was scared because he's a big lad, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, "Tell him," and I could tell he's not telling him. And when I left that meeting, I said, "No, I need to learn Turkish because I need to tell the manager when I'm not happy, even swear at him and all that, you know." So that's why I learned the language.
You learnt it.
Yeah.
Fluent?
When I was there, yeah, I spent 2 years.
Yeah?
Yeah, I used to go to school because in Turkey we train at night because it's too hot. So in the morning you're free. So I used to go 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I used to go to school.
Did you?
Yeah.
That long, yeah?
Yeah,
How long did it take you to pick it up?
probably a year.
Yeah.
But understand, I didn't want to talk because I don't want to make mistake, even if I still make mistake in English. But after a year, yeah, I started doing press conference and everything. Yeah, it was good.
Well, say your English is the fact that you knew what top notch means you've,
Yeah, I've been
your
here.
English is pretty
I've
good.
been here long now. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's why.
That's exceptional. But to that Turkish and Italian as well, did you?
Italian as well, yeah. But Italian is easy if you like because it's very, very similar to French. Very
Right,
similar.
okay.
Yeah. So that took me.
Yeah, I look at Italian and think I could pick it. I'll speak a petit peu.
Yeah, but there you go.
Right? A very tiny bit. But you look at that, yeah, you can see the
Yeah,
similarity.
it's very similar. Yeah.
Turkish is,
Yeah, but the Turkish people always said, and it's true when I learned that because is in France, you can you can read the word and you say it completely differently.
yeah.
But in Turkish, what you see is what you read, so it's easy to learn.
Right, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll take your word for that, yeah.
I'm not planning on it myself. Did the Leeds move come about with Cellino because of the Palermo connection?
That's
the
right.
Italy connection?
Yeah, because I finished the World Cup 2014 in Brazil. Excuse me. And
We'll have to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
and I went to Italy after that, and I didn't play much. Didn't play at all. In fact, I remember I turned up in the training ground, and the manager said like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Oh,
Cheers.
I'm in trouble here." Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember before I signed, because I always speak to manager before I sign to see how you want to play and all this. And I said that to the president at the time, and he said to me like, "It's my club. And you know, in Italy, we run the club, so you don't need to speak to the manager. He probably won't be here in 2 weeks."
Right.
You know, I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure." And I turned up at the training ground, and he didn't know who I was. You know, so I ended up
Run
playing much.
differently, yeah.
Oh, honestly, man, it's crazy. So I played one game. I remember I went to Napoli, and I never played after that. And obviously, Zamparini, the Italian president, was very close friend with Cellino. And he said, "Oh, you have to go on loan because, you know, I don't want your value to go down." And I signed a 4 years contract, I think. So he said, "Go on loan, play, and you come back, and maybe the manager will change, and, you know, we see where we are." So that's how I ended up in Leeds.
Enjoy it?
Uh,
A bit crazy time
yeah,
though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a difficult time at the time, yeah. And it was weird. I turned up at the training ground, and it was like I left Palermo because it was 15 Italian players, you know. And they didn't get on well with the English lads, and it was
15.
honestly, yeah,
Was it?
it was 15
I
players.
didn't realise
Yeah.
it was that extreme.
Yeah, it was a lot, and a lot of them were training with the 23s, so they weren't happy, but they were sharing the first team dressing room.
Who's manager?
That was when I turned up. It was Neil Warnock.
Okay.
Yeah, he was at academy, and he ended
yeah,
up
yeah.
taking the first team, and he finished the season. And the following season we had Uwe Rosler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
But it was difficult time in Leeds, yeah, because Cellino was doing what Cellino does at the time, you know, very, very difficult.
Well, I said to you off air that I've got family members that are Leeds United
Yeah.
supporters. Told them I was doing this with you, and they said that you were literally the only bright spark in that time. So it was a nice compliment.
Yeah, very nice compliment. But
And same as what we were saying with Leicester, I guess, that the cult hero status, that you were probably loved everywhere you were, really, by the supporters.
yeah, sometimes I wonder why. I think it's just because, you know, I give 100% all the time at training and games. And I'm honest, you know, I remember being asking a question after Cellino decided to change the team or something like that. And I said it wasn't his place. It's his club, you know, he owned the club, but I don't think he should pick the team. And the fan was all very happy about this, but I was just being myself. And to be fair, I had a special relationship with him because, you know, because I came from Italy, where we used to talk in Italian. And I remember after a game in Middlesbrough, we lost 4-0. I think I scored an own goal. And he came to my house for 2 hours, and my missus was like, "What is he doing?" We were close like that. So I knew if I said anything, he won't take it wrongly anyway, because I probably said it in front of him anyway.
And Leeds, a big old club as well, isn't it? The supporters are
Yeah.
lively, aren't they?
Wow, Matt, this is crazy. But it's a lovely
That
place.
was my team as a kid. I used
Yeah?
to support Leeds,
Oh,
yeah, bizarrely, even though I came from London. Won't go there.
Yeah, it's a great football club. Enjoy playing there. But when the things are not going well, it's a difficult place.
Yeah,
Very difficult place.
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's a pressurised environment, isn't it? But again, yeah, the risk of being too nice to you, like you say, they're the cult hero. Same at Cardiff as well, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think that's the big extreme.
You think?
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. You seem, you know, popular, understandably so. Like every club you go, which is it's nice accolade.
No,
for
it's
you,
definitely nice, man, for sure. But I think it's just because I believe when you play and you give 100%, the fan respond
Yeah.
to that, you know. And if you're humble and respectful, you know, they're gonna take you on, and you know.
You speak with the fans as well, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, you speak
always.
openly
Yeah.
when you do an interview.
Yeah, I think it's very important, man, because, you know, they're a massive part of any club. You know, you have to respect them. They come and watch us play anywhere in the country, you know. So the minimum we can do is give them about our time to them. So, you know, I always try to do that as much as I can. But I think if you give anything, you know, the fan will respond definitely.
Yeah. Oh, we'll come back onto your time with Cardiff with a certain Mr. Warnock or whatever. I'm interested to see how you two gelled. But talking about gelling on, maybe not in this instance. Give us regarding your time, the Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
A couple of times featured in the World Cup. Perhaps the 2014, you featured more prominently, did you?
Yeah, that's right.
So I think it's got to be a wonderful time of your career, that. So give us a little bit of feedback on that. But also, how was your, there's talk, in my notes at least, of a bit of discontent between yourself and Kolo Touré. Is that correct? Or not looking for anything controversial?
I won't say it's discontent. I think
Kolo was here, of course.
Oh yeah. He enjoyed it here, and he regret
He's
leaving.
behind
by
that
the way.
door over there. He's listening.
I have to be careful what I'm going to say. No, I love Kolo, and listen. The minute I walk in to the national team 2007, I think he took me on straight away. So I can never say the bad things about him. But I think when we were playing together, he liked to play deep.
Yeah.
And the manager wanted us to play higher, so we weren't always on the same line.
Okay.
He always wanted a cover behind him, so he didn't want it to be left 1v1. So that's the small argument we used to have. And
Nothing too major.
yeah, no. It was, and it was purely on the pitch, because outside the pitch we were very close. And the problem is, most of the time the team wanted us to play high. So they used to have a go at me. He said to Kolo to push up with me. I'm like,
Just because he was getting a little bit older.
Exactly. I didn't want to say that.
Get deeper.
I didn't want to say
I would have
that.
said at Arsenal he would play quite a high line.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I know that feeling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know that too. But it's exactly that. And I think, because Kolo is a massive name in Ivory Coast, he didn't want the people to see that. So he wanted us to play a bit deeper. So that's the small problem
Technical
we had.
issues.
Yeah, that was it.
You had some team though, didn't you? At Ivory Coast?
Yeah, but big ego though, and that's why we never won anything. I'd done 2 African Cup final, 2008, 2012, lost them both. It's because I won't say jealousy, but it was big ego. Like when we had Drogba in front, obviously captain, everyone was talking about him, and you had Yaya Toure wasn't happy about this.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. It was silly though, because if you win, like it's good for everyone.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was crazy. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's a bit
it was
immature,
bad,
isn't
mad.
it?
Yeah, honestly, very
They say
bad.
players like that.
Yeah.
There's some atmosphere, that African final, isn't it?
Yeah, it was good, very good. We lost on penalties, both of them, so difficult to take. And during one of them, during the game, Drogba actually missed a penalty as well.
Did he?
Yeah, so it was very
Yeah, I was on him.
Yeah, exactly that. In fact, I wanted to take it, and obviously Drogba being the captain, he said, "No, I'll take it," and he missed it. So imagine. Yeah.
Big personalities, them two.
Yeah,
weren't
huge. We had obviously the two Touré brothers. We had Kalu, we had Gervinho, we had Zokora. Do you remember the midfield player?
they? Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it was big ego there, definitely.
Yeah. You forget. I mean, that's personalities in the extreme. Those two, isn't it, in particular? But must have been frustrating not to win something.
Exactly that, because that's what, back in Africa, they used to call us like typical, like the golden generation, but we never won anything.
Yeah.
And the minute we all stopped, they won the African Cup nation in 2015.
Yeah.
So very disappointed, because we should have won a couple African Cup nation, maybe do better in the World Cup.
Yeah.
I remember we had Patrick Vieira came to talk to us in one of our camp, and he said to us, you guys don't realize, but when you play funds or other team, we worried about you because you've got a very, very good team.
Yeah.
But you worried about just winning the African Cup of Nations. You should look at the bigger picture and do well in the World Cup. And that stayed with me, and I hope that I wish at the time that everyone realized that, but we never won anything.
Great involvement, though, isn't it? When you look back.
Yeah. Looking back now, like especially when I speak to the kids and that, when they're seeing old games, or they see me talking to Drogba and all that, they were like, "Oh, you did okay." I said, "Yeah, I did all right." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're sort of legends, for want of a better word, of the game, aren't they?
Yeah, oh yeah, some of them, yeah.
You used to rub shoulders with them, mate.
Yeah.
Well, you did your job in I think the second AFCON. You didn't concede a goal, did you? All tournament.
That's why, yeah, the whole tournament didn't concede, went to penalties and we lost it. But yeah, that was another thing as well, again, because, you know, Kolo was proud of it. We were all proud of it. But that's what he was saying during meeting and games, like, you know,
we're doing our job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys don't do it. So obviously that created more tension as well. So listen, I enjoyed it. I played just under 10 years. It was brilliant, but at the same time, it was tough because you go there, you know it's going to be argument, you know it's going to be, you know, a difficult time, and you're there to perform to win games, and we didn't. But looking back now, when you speak to them, because they retire, they regret, because they're like, we had a great team and we should have done more.
You would
and
think
now
so,
it's
yeah.
like, oh yeah.
It was an uneasy atmosphere, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't great, man, honestly. And at the time, we couldn't talk about it in the media because, you know, back in Africa, it wouldn't been gone down so well. But now, when we speak between ourselves, we like, you know, we were.
Shame, isn't it? That without going on about it too much, but egos affect the situation, especially, you know, African countries who are desperate to try and prove themselves on the world stage.
Oh, exactly that, and that's why I don't understand, because you know, they all dreamed about this. You know, like half of the team. I was born in France, but half of the team is born in Ivory Coast. They've seen what the national team mean for the countries, and we qualified for 3 World Cup in advance. You know, done very, very well, and you want to go to the next stage, you know, and make the country proud, but for some reason, because of ego, we couldn't.
Yeah.
Probably frustrated you even more when you see that, I think it was Ghana, wasn't it, in the 2014 World Cup, that they had that fantastic run, and you probably look and think, well, we're better than them.
Exactly that,
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually were watching their games, and that's what we were saying, like, you know, if we all pull in the same direction, we got better player than them. But, you know, we sat down in front of the game and everything, but the minute you go on the training pitch and something goes wrong, it explodes again, and his ego coming again. So it was frustrating, definitely.
Yeah, bizarre, because, I mean, those, not picking out individuals, but those characters you speak about, they were able to get by domestically, you know, in a room full of probably more egos.
Oh, yeah, exactly that.
Know, the Chelseas, the Man Cities, or whatever. But, yeah, a shame, but there you go, good time.
Yeah, very good
Good
time.
times, though, good memories, aren't they?
Yeah, very good.
Good achievements, yeah.
So Cardiff then, you've spent a long time there. You still live there?
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, still down there at the minute, and yeah, great time down there.
It's nice down there, Cardiff. I never
It's
really
nice.
been properly.
I was surprised as well when I first got down there properly, visit the city and all that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I have been.
It's
so
nice.
It's
Very nice.
quite lively, isn't it?
It is lively. Yeah.
Things are coming back to me. Go on, tell us more.
Well,
He's not allowed back. That's his problem.
Oh yeah.
no, it's a good city because a good mix between like the party night if you want to go out, and it's a student city, and it's very green. You got the sea, and so it's I think it's a bit of everything. So it's a very good city.
Because obviously you had that spell, well, earlier this year, didn't you, as assistant manager? That's something that you want to pursue?
Yeah, definitely. I think I had Sabri Lamouchi as a manager with Ivory Coast, and we were talking about it back then. He said you should look into coaching and all this. Like, you know, I thought he was just chatting like that, but the minute I stopped, he said to me he wanted me to come and be an assistant with him. And funny enough, he ended up at Cardiff, so you know that's where I started, and it was a very, very good start. Obviously, we were in bit of trouble. We were fighting to stay in the league. Managed to do that. Unfortunately, didn't get a job, so we left. But it's definitely something I'm looking into.
So your time at Cardiff as well. We're just reverting back to your playing days, but how was your relationship with Neil Warnock? Because I wouldn't say alternative characters, but you wouldn't necessarily put you both together.
Yeah.
Even in just a football sense. But it seems like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and
one way or another.
funny enough, I first met the gaffer when I was playing for Leicester, And he came to me and he said to me, "You getting away with murder. If you were playing with me, you'd be playing in the Premier League already, and you'd be a better player." And I looked at him and I said, like, "Why is this? Who's this guy anyway?"
Yeah.
I had no idea. So we left it there. And when I came back with Leeds, Sam, I played against him. He said the same thing to me, and he said we need to be in touch and everything, and that. So we swapped numbers then, and that's how our relationship started. And when I left Leeds, he called me and he said he's going to get a club. I have to wait for him. I had a few things, and I remember actually I went to Derby where Nigel Pearson was,
Yeah.
and he wanted to sign me, and the day before he
Pearson wanted to sign you.
yeah, at
Right,
Derby,
okay.
yeah.
That's
I went
interesting.
there to train for a week, and they wanted to sign me, but he got the sack just the day after, just the day before, sorry. So unfortunately, I didn't sign for him at Derby. And Warnock called me and he said, "Oh, we're going to Nottingham Forest." I had an interview, it went well. And he called me 2 days after, "No, we're going to Aston Villa." And the next day again, he called me, said, "No, forget Villa, we're going down to Cardiff." I said, "Gaffer, come on."
But Villa in the Premier League then?
No, in the Championship at the
Oh,
time.
Championship,
Yeah,
right, okay.
yeah. So he had a couple of interview, and every time he thought he would get a job, and he asked me to wait. He said it's going to be a couple of weeks. I think it took 2 months because I left Leeds in August, and we signed. I signed for Cardiff in October.
Right.
So I ended up waiting a long time. But at
Yeah,
the
that's
end,
not easy.
yeah, exactly. Even I had the pressure from the missus because the kids, we didn't know where they're going to go to school. She wanted me to get a job. So it wasn't easy, but at the end, it worked out.
Did I hear you call him? Do you still call him Gaffer, do you?
Yeah, always, yeah. He will kill me if I don't call him Gaffer.
And he's been around a long
Oh,
time.
yeah.
He seemed a seasoned campaigner. Is that the right word? It is, isn't it? When I was playing, when he was at Sheffield United,
Yeah.
he'd been around the block then.
Exactly, yeah.
And then never mind your era. He's some character. He's always one of those managers, and you'll probably endorse this, back this up. Playing against him, you really didn't like.
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Play with him, you love him to
You love
bits.
it, yeah.
And I heard a lot of players in that case.
Absolutely, man. You spot on. I think with him, his man management is just brilliant, and everyone will tell you the one who played or the one who doesn't play, he look actually better to the player who don't play.
Yeah.
Because he always said, and rightly so, you have to keep them happy. The one who plays, they're already happy anyway.
Yeah.
But I think what is great is you look at the players, and it's not just looking at the player, he's looking at the personal level. So you make an effort to know your wife, the kids, your mum, everyone. And I think that's the secret, and he's very good at it. And when you do that to players, they're going to go to free brick wall for you, So he's very, very good at that.
He's a walking meme as well, isn't he? Everywhere you look.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable career, isn't he?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
still looking to get back in it as well.
Oh, yeah, he would.
Well, there you go. You could be his assistant wherever he goes next.
I'm not sure, I'm not sure. Listen, I love the man to death, but I think playing under him would be better than being his assistant, because I've seen Jippo and Blackie's been absolutely hammered by him.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, I don't want to be near that. No
Because
way.
he's comfortable with those people.
Yeah,
It was just bark at them
exactly. Yeah.
and that'd get them running around doing all sorts of things. Yeah.
You had a proper team spirit, though, which is probably what he instills at Cardiff, and probably were a little bit unfortunate in that Premier League season to obviously get the relegation. But you had that togetherness. That was obviously from Neil Warnock.
Yeah, he built that, and he was very important. He's similar to Nigel Pearson, who was saying earlier. He's big on character, and he doesn't want any bad egg in the dressing room. If you don't follow the rules, you're going to get yourself out of the dressing room anyway. That came from him. He's very, very good man management skill, and even the season we got promoted, nobody see us getting promoted, but we had a special bond between ourselves, and he made sure, like, from top to bottom, the club were together.
Out of all the managers you played under, who do you think you learned the most from?
All of them, really. I would say from the tactical point of view, I would say Sven. He was very, very good and aware. I would say man management, I go to both, really. Nigel Pearson and the Gaffers are very, very good at it. Um, you know, and I think those three managers, I always put them up there because they were very, very good with me.
So interrupted in a certain period. Was it while you were at Cardiff, or you had I was going to call it a health scare. It was a little bit more than that,
Yeah,
as most people are aware of.
yeah,
You said you don't mind addressing.
yeah.
Obviously, it's a
Absolutely,
big
yeah.
part of your
Yeah,
life
yeah,
and
yeah.
your career, etc. How did that affect you? For want of a better way of questioning it, putting the question, but was that? I forget exactly when that period was.
It was 2021. I was at Cardiff, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he obviously had a bit of time off. But what? I don't know. Talk me through that situation.
Yeah,
just
I think
briefly.
it made me aware. Unfortunately, we're not, even if you sort of know that, we're not invincible really, because you know when you play football or when you play with you any sport, you think you're fit, you're healthy.
Yeah.
You know, you look after your body and that. And I never expected, you know, to have cancer. I had a pain here on the back, on my lower back, on my left hand side,
Right.
for a while. But you know, we play every
Yeah,
2
exactly,
days.
yeah.
You know, we never thought anything of it. Maybe just a sore back. I saw the physio and everything, but the pain didn't go away. I was still playing, going through it. The manager at the time asked me to get to international break because he needed me to play. So after that, we went to see doctors and we done all the scan and everything, but they didn't know what it was. So the club doctor that said, listen, just in case, because even him, he didn't think it would be
So
that.
just literally that bit of a
Yeah, a
ache
bit of,
in the
yeah, a
back,
bit of ache. It
niggling.
was weird. And I ended up going and see a specialist and done a biopsy. Like, once again, the club doctor was just saying, you know, it's just to tick all the boxes, like, you know, I'm probably sure it's not going to be that. And it ended up being this, you know. So big shock. Straight away, I was worried for the family, you know, because I have young kids at the time. You know, how I'm going to tell my mum,
Yeah.
the missus and that. So that was tough. But the club, very, very supportive. The fans, and even, you know, the football community all around the world. I had so many messages. I couldn't believe it. I was overwhelmed. You know, the people in Leicester got in touch. It was great, and that helped me through it, because people don't realize when you're struggling with a illness like this, just a simple message when you wake up in the morning and you don't feel great, like that gives you the strength to carry on. It did to me anyway.
Yeah.
And that was massive. So, you know, I always said, like, without the support of everyone in my family, I don't think I could have
Yeah,
gone
I'd
through it.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've got your own family to motivate you as well, but any boost is welcome, isn't it?
Yeah, it was huge, massive, because, you know, as everyone can imagine, chemo is not easy. You know, very difficult.
Was it just localized in that area?
Yeah, it was. That was one of the lucky part of it, because it was just there. It didn't spread. So they located very early as well. So they said it was a small lump of the size of a tennis ball.
Big enough.
Yeah, yeah. So they managed to get rid of it very quickly. But they did say if I left it too long, it could have been like a bigger problem.
More severe,
Yeah, yeah.
And so, touch wood, all fine since.
Yeah, I mean, I still have to do a few check-in every month or so, blood tests and everything. But so far, it's been very good. Yeah.
I imagine the relief that you heard when you were given the all clear.
Yeah, I mean, because the whole thing was crazy, because it was just before Christmas as well. So I went to do the biopsy on Christmas Eve, and straight away I had the result. So I didn't want it to hide it to any of my family. So I said it straight away. We just keep it away from the kids, because it was Christmas. And after Christmas, I sat everyone down and just told them. But it was tough at the time. But like you said, the best news I heard, it was when they said I've got it all clear. Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. Well done to you for getting through it like you did.
Thank you.
But not that isn't a positive, because the way you come through it is a massive positive. But we'll end on another one in terms of the future and what it brings. And I know we touched upon it lightly, but what do you see it holding for you?
Well, first and foremost, like good health.
Yeah.
You know, very, very important. You know, I wanna go into management. Definitely, I wanna coach first. You know that it's not because you play the game for, you know, whatever years. That mean you know everything. So, you know, I've been doing my badges very early when I was still playing, and every time I learn new stuff. Because even just something as silly or talking in front of the room, when you're in the dressing room and I've got a big mouth, I can talk. It's easy because they're your teammate and you know, you just get on with it. But when you got 16 or 18 years old player and you have to address in front of them, it's not that easy. And you know, the badges show me how to do it with confidence and you know, I think
you have to make sure you've got the proper knowledge as well, don't you? The detail, the confidence, otherwise it's picked up on.
Absolutely, and I think that's why it's very important to no rushed on it. That's why I want to, you know, I've done the B, the A, I'm on a pro license now, and I want to coach after for whatever years before I become a manager. Because listen, you can go through all this and be a manager and not necessarily be successful, but I don't want to. I want to go step by step.
Give yourself every chance.
Definitely, yeah. But
I've got a sneaky feeling you'll be more than fine. I think you'll get by all right.
I hope so. I hope
Amalgamation of Neil Warnock, Nigel Pearson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've got plenty to fall back on, haven't you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
No, but you've got different aspects of your personality as well. You know, you're a friendly, amicable sort of guy, but you don't strike me as anyone's fool. You say your piece as well, don't you, at times? And
well, I don't think that's always good. You know, I learned the
in a measured way.
Exactly, yeah. I learned how and when to say it. Excuse me. I remember when I was young, my dad used to say, "It's great with you because when it's something you say it, but you know you need to say it the right way and being polite."
Yeah.
You know? I try to do that, and I'm better now with age. You know. But yeah, it's something. When I've got something on my mind, I have to say, or I'm not comfortable with myself. So, you know, I try to be that. Yeah.
You put it across the right way. You certainly have today, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure. It's always good to see you.
For you coming along. Please, and he's taken away from the plain and face.
No, it's been good. It's been good.
Time that's more comfortable than it should have been. But no, absolute delight. Wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you very much, man. Good to see you.